Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Because I've saved and I saved. I am still working to try and get some money together to pay for this again.
Accused of embezzling money from a funeral home was in court today, and so were the family members of those who never got the services he promised them. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The funeral director is charged with embezzling money from nearly a dozen clients, and today he went before a judge in Rockville Superior Court. He pled not guilty.
Fox 61's Jamel Johnson was there and got to talk to some of the people who say they lost thousands of dollars.
Where is our money? That's the main question people wanted answered as 51-year-old Philip Petrus appeared in Rockville Superior Court.
And how much money was that total?
It was $20,000.
Nearly $6,000.
That's how much money Galen Beaupre and Sheila Lawler say was stolen from them in prepaid funeral arrangement expenses. Expenses they say were entrusted with Philip Petrus and his funeral home.
He was trusted because of his reputation. He was very believable that he was going to do the right thing. He was so professional, and I think what was enticing was probably the price of the funeral services that enticed us to go forward. And he acted very professional, and there was nothing to lead us to any negatives in his actions.
Galen says he and his wife made funeral arrangements with Petrus in February of 2024. Sheila's arrangements date back to 2022. It wasn't until the charges against Petrus made headlines that they knew something was wrong.
And that's when we realized that we were in trouble. Then we investigated all our paperwork and found evidence of him taking $5,000 from one credit card and $15,000 from another credit card.
I contacted the trust to see if my money was there, and they had no record of my money whatsoever. So I had called the funeral home to see if they still had my money, and they didn't have my money. My money was gone.
Sheila and Galen are just 2 out of at least 9 people police say Petrus misused funeral expenses for. So far, their investigation has led them to determine that more than $71,000 of misused funds was given to Petrus's funeral home. These alleged victims can't help feel but betrayed.
I have cried every single day since I heard about this. I am just totally devastated that this person who I knew would do something like this, not only on me, but on so many other people. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get that back. I'm now 71 years of age, and I wanted to do this, so that my family wouldn't have to pay for my funeral.
Galen Beaupre says that he and his wife are working with police to try to get some more clarification as to what next steps are. Sheila Lawler says she's been working and saving to try to pay for her funeral arrangements once again. Philip Petrus' next court date is August 1st, and his case is being transferred to Tolland Superior Court. For now, in Rockville, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
All right, Jamel, thanks. Now at 6, a road in Stratford is closed indefinitely after a sinkhole opened up there. That means no traffic, no pedestrians, no bicyclists. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Stratford with the latest update.
I'm unable to get any closer to the sinkhole, but CTDOT says the sinkhole is about 5 feet wide and 7 feet deep. Pedestrians reported the sinkhole on Lordship Boulevard on Route 113 Monday afternoon to the Stratford Police Department. Shortly after, the State Department of Transportation shut down the road and put detours in place. The road is closed between Access Road and Oak Bluff Road. However, vehicles can still access Sikorsky Airport. Neighbors tell me there was a paving project going on along Lordship Boulevard.
They had a lot of heavy equipment rumbling through here at 2, 3 a.m., shaking houses.
Rachel Quigley, who lives nearby, says after dealing with all the construction noise, it's even more disappointing to know the road is now closed.
We have to hope that it doesn't rain because the other side is prone to flooding.
Quigley says she now has to take Main Street to get back to her home, which takes significantly longer than taking Lordship Boulevard. Abigail Lotz lives in Stratford and says the construction on several roads in the area overall has made travel very difficult.
I mean, it's hard with summer coming. With all the tourists coming in, it's hard.
Quigley fears that this road closure could cause longer emergency response times. She hopes to see the road reopened soon.
you know, my mom is elderly, and if we have emergency services, are they going to be able to get through? So it's a little disconcerting because we don't have back roads to come in and out. We are now down to one road.
CTDOT says they're unsure as to when the road will reopen, but they are looking into long-term solutions to fill the sinkhole. In Stratford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Over to weather now. Our team issued a weather impact alert for tomorrow because of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires that's making its way here to Connecticut.
And that will, of course, cause our air quality to suffer a bit. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with more details. Rach, what does it look like?
Yeah, it looks like people that are sensitive to low air quality, people with respiratory problems, people with heart issues may want to limit the amount of time spent outside. This is only a small reduction in air quality, not like what we had a couple of years ago when you could really smell that wildfire smoke. But there is an air quality alert in effect from 11 a.m. tomorrow until 11 p.m. tomorrow night. So again, we did want to give you that heads up. The other big story is that it's feeling like summer, getting a little taste of it outside today, and it will only continue to get warmer as we head through the next couple of days. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the middle to upper 70s, although we are at 80 degrees for Windsor Locks, and overnight lows will be really nice and refreshing, falling back into the 50s as we head towards daybreak. It was cooler this morning. We had some 40s out there, but still, I would say if you want to open the windows before the warmth and humidity arrives, tonight's a great opportunity to do that. Tomorrow, we'll see high temperatures rising into the mid and even upper 80s as we head through the afternoon. Along the shoreline, a bit cooler with highs in the 70s, but still warm across the state and nice and bright. We'll talk about 90s for Thursday. Your full forecast is coming up in just a bit.
A small plane that took off from Connecticut crashed into Long Island Sound Sunday morning, and we now know why. The FAA says the Piper PA-32 aircraft had engine issues when it crashed into the water south of Tweed New Haven Airport. The report says the plane was traveling from Bridgeport Sikorsky Airport to an unknown destination. The U.S. Coast Guard rescued 2 people from the water with minor injuries. The FAA is still investigating the crash.
Hartford police arrested a man they say shot and killed someone in March. Ariane Serrano of East Hartford has been charged with murder and criminal possession of a firearm. He's being held on $2 million bond. It's unclear when he's due in court. Police tell us Serrano shot Myron Myers on Main Street on March 14th around 11:30 at night. Myers died at the hospital. Investigators didn't say if the men knew each other.
The scam alert now. Many people have received a text message looking like it's from the DMV today. It looks something like this. Police say do not click this link. Officials say it will lead you to a fraudulent website where scammers will try to steal your personal and financial information. If you click the link and your money was stolen, police ask you to contact them as soon as it happens. Officials say the DMV will not ask for your information or payment over text. If you've been sent a scam text, report it as junk and block the phone number. You're also encouraged to report it to the Federal Trade Commission.
Developing now at 6:08, a memorial is growing in Colorado after what's being called a terror attack in Boulder. A man threw Molotov cocktails at people who were holding a rally for Israeli hostages held by Hamas. Alicia Acuna has more from Boulder, Colorado.
The wife and all 5 children of the suspected Boulder terrorist are now in federal custody and being processed for expedited removal. After Sunday's violent attack in Colorado left 12 people injured, sending shockwaves through the Jewish community.
Some anger, there was sadness, grief, a lot of things mixed together.
Authorities say Mohammed Solomon is facing 16 attempted murder charges, plus counts for using an incendiary device, for throwing Molotov cocktails at a group marching for Israeli hostages. They also say he is facing a federal hate crime charge, and more could be coming.
We've moved swiftly to charge quickly, just to send the message to the community that no acts of anti-Semitism are going to be tolerated.
The acting U.S. Attorney for Colorado says Solomon, who is a visa overstay, admitted to planning the attack for a year and said he wanted to kill all Zionist people. The attack follows the murder of 2 staff members of the Israeli embassy in Washington outside a Jewish museum and an arson attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's mansion.
We as Jews, and this is not an overstatement, we're being hunted. And this is now proven it. It was already proven.
The Anti-Defamation League reported the highest number of anti-Semitic incidents in 2024, adding there's been more than a 300% increase in the last 5 years. And according to the American Jewish Committee, 3/4 of Jewish Americans say they feel less safe since the October 7th attacks. The federal government says it is taking action against acts of anti-Semitism.
This is pure evil. The Department of Justice has already filed federal hate crime charges against the alleged perpetrator, and he will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law.
ICE has placed a detainer on the suspect in the unlikely event he makes that $10 million bond. In Boulder, Colorado, Alicia Acuna, Fox 61.
Well, tonight the New York Knicks are looking for a new head coach. Coach Tom Thibodeau has been fired. He was hired back in 2020. He helped the Knicks make the playoffs 4 times in the last 5 seasons. But New York couldn't beat the Indiana Pacers in Game 6 a couple of days ago, and that loss ousted them from appearing in the NBA Finals, and New York hasn't been in the finals since 1999. Thibodeau has the 4th most wins by a Knicks coach. Critics say his hard-driving style, though, and over-reliance on his starters wore down his players. Team owner Jim Dolan approved the president, Leon Rose, to fire him.